Female,
Recording,
male, nicotine use. No, we're going to, this is
recording
50.
to the cloud.
We have $54 here. This one says it's $54 for my age, male, non-smoker. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll bring that up. But Mr. Foxx, welcome to Money Talk with George Ohan,
George.
Zoom edition. Proud to always be speaking with you because I learn a lot. And today's phone call, I wanted to set it up because term life insurance. This is the third time I've gotten this from AAA, and I'm like, don't you guys tow my car when I need it? But you know me, dude. I don't knock anyone's money hustle. So AAA, I ain't mad at you, but I need to get to the bottom of this because as I'm looking, I'm like, $52, not bad. I'm in the business and they almost got me. Like,
let's dissect that a little bit so that people can know that there's a lot that they should know about term insurance.
And dude, when they send something like this where it has these big numbers, like that's what I'm gonna get. Wow, I'm about to enhance my portfolio by that. Oh, that sounds great. Okay, Mr. Foxx, I'm not gonna cut you off as much as I usually would because I want you to talk. What is this term? What is perm? What is this? What is that? There's so many. I don't even know what to ask when it comes to life insurance. Hook me up. HBO, help a brother out.
Well, let's do compare. I love that you actually brought a mailer out because a lot of people get this. So I think it's important to kind of discuss, what's currently going on in the industry so people can be informed to know exactly what they're getting. Right. So term insurances, there are a lot of differences. Okay. It's like going to a fast food place to buy a hamburger, right? Every place, is a little bit different. So know what your goal is from that actual policy and what you're hoping to receive from it so that you have the right questions you're able to ask. Like, for example, in term insurance specifically, there is something that's called an accidental death and dismemberment policy. So those are the things you'll see on TV or across internet ads that'll say, get $1 million of coverage for $6 or $20, something like that. Mm-hmm. So something that's that inexpensive is all about accidental death and dismemberment. Mm. And as of today, like in the industry, only 2% of accidental death and dismemberment claims actually get paid out. So that's crazy. Definitely something to look for. Okay. But there's also a lot of other things that you want to consider.
So what's the exact question? Like, what should I be asking?
Perfect. So there's a series of questions you should be asking. Okay. One would be, what is the length of the term? Because term insurances can be very different, lengths, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years long. So what length of time does it say that that policy is going to be covering you for?
This one is.
It's going to be buried somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm looking. I did find this. Okay. 5-year branded premium term life insurance. 5-year.
Yeah. So for 5 years,
that's not illegal.
It is, unfortunately, but most people will glance at something, and even I've come across some pretty sad stories, and realizing that people think they have permanent insurance when they actually have a term that will be expiring. So a lot of things to think about.
Whoa. Term that will be expiring? That sounds like something I don't know about.
Correct. So term insurance is just that. The reason why it's so expensive is because it has a start date and an expiration date. So like, for example, that 5-year policy will cover you today and 5 years in the future. Once the 5th year comes, most companies will offer you a different contract, but they'll actually quadruple the price. So you want to look out for that. If you're looking for one for a little longer, like I said, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, you can end up finding policies for. But look and see which term makes the most sense for you, because once you end up getting to that part and that point, it will be much more expensive going on after that.
Mr. Foxx, I just found something that I have a question about, sir.
Yeah.
And this is not your policy, so I appreciate you explaining AAA stuff to me. This certificate may be voidable for 24 months, but it's only 5-year term, dude. What?
Correct. And this is really sad what kind of happens with online applications. People who are not really working with a person directly who can lead them in the right directions on their application. If the company goes back and finds out any pen stroke that was incorrect, any question that was incorrect, and then it was found to be the opposite, they can actually go back and void the contract even after
Wow.
that person has passed away. So after the person has passed away, people are thinking, yeah, like I'm actually getting this amount. You know, we had the insurance, like, yeah, my family's safe and secure. However, if they come back and find out that they said no, that they don't have high blood pressure, and they can come back and prove that you did, they will not pay that out.
Dude, I just made a mistake ordering pizza yesterday. Like, look at all this. Of course, I make a mistake. And then they go back and like do a legal audit on this thing. And they're like, oh man, you didn't, I wish you had
Yeah,
checked that block because that's what made this real. I mean, I'm sure it's
exactly.
not that extreme, but maybe, right? It's like you don't
Work
have a
with
human
somebody.
doing this thing for you.
Yeah. Work with somebody who's been doing this a long time. You
Oh,
know,
dude.
been doing this a long time, seeing a lot that's in the industry and some of the heartache that comes along with it. Even the simple process of filling out the application is very important.
55% lower rates than elsewhere. It says
Well,
it
you
here,
know what?
Fox. I want you to run an illustration with
Okay.
my exact specs. We're going to compare apples to apples, and you better be 55% more expensive than these people. Dude, they freaking said it right there in black and white, right there.
All right, George. Well, I actually wanted to get along with getting you a term quote anyway, so I've already started the process here. So we've got your name here. Okay, this is with Transamerica, and I've got it as your age at 40 years old. So this is in California, male. You know, we're going to rate you as a preferred smoke or non-smoker because you are pretty healthy.
Non-smoker.
Yep, perfect. So
300.
the
You got
thing
three hundred
about
thousand dollars in there because I'm going for the gold here,
you
Fox.
want 300,000? Okay,
That's
so
all they offer. That's the max. I want the max, baby.
okay, we'll do 300,000 here. Transamerica has a $2 million max, so you could go up that if you want to, and
Oh,
we'll
wait,
do
whoa, whoa, whoa,
premium
whoa,
of.
whoa, 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 AAA. No, no, no. I'm not so happy, AAA. They don't say that on their literature.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, think about it. They're in the towing business, right? They're in the car industry, and someone who's trying to also bridge into the insurance industry. So it's like it's kind of crazy. Transamerica, that's all they do is insurance. So
Okay,
I
that makes a little bit of sense.
I'm 100% confident that you're going to enjoy what you see here. But so this is the summary. I love it because it's super fast. Comes up, you know, this is you, the same information, and this is what it would be for the straight term. And excuse me, let me actually get to two different price points. This is the straight term, and let me describe the two. And this is the term with living benefits. A very important question, almost as important as the length of time the term rate is going to be covering you for. Okay, so I'm curious, what did they say the quote would be for you for 40-year-olds at 300,000,
$54.
$54? Okay, so
So yours should be
and,
around 100 and something.
and that was for 5 years, right?
Well, that's the only thing that I found. I can't, don't quote me on that. That's the only literature
Okay,
that I found that said something was 5 years
okay,
on here. It might be different.
right. So this one, at a straight term, which is what AAA is, they don't currently have living benefits. Working in the industry long enough, I've actually called them a few times to replace some policies. But this one for 30 years would cover you for $40 a month. Okay, and
30 years?
that's comparing apples to apples. So
That's
the
amazing. 30 years.
yeah. So, actually talking a little bit different about this one with the living benefits, that's really the
What's
new
living
type of insurance.
benefits?
The living benefits is a new type of insurance. It's because the old one, like you'd have to pass away to be able to have the benefit go to your family. Living benefits actually allows you to use the policy while you're still living. Okay, so this is a little bit different. So let me explain it this way. Like for term insurance, it's a great way to make sure that these lines never cross, right? Because there's an income line and expenses line. But if something happens and you have either a chronic, critical, or a terminal event happen in your life, chances are your income's going to come down. It's going to be hard or difficult to work at that point, but your expenses are going to definitely still come up.
Mhm.
You're going to have hospital bills, physical therapy, and like you just need to be able to keep up. So how the living benefits state is they're going to protect you from going into debt by increasing your income. Like if you had chronic condition, bathing, continence, dressing, eating, toileting, transferring, any issues with two or more of those events will actually constitute as being a chronic event for you. So this policy will start to pay you out. Critical: heart attack, stroke, cancer, end-stage renal failure, major organ transplant, blindness, paralysis, all of those also will constitute a critical event, which will allow you to access money off of the death benefit of your policy, as well as terminal. Terminal being like 12 months or less, doctor comes and says, hey, there's some serious thing that's going on, and that's always devastating news. But in an example, like for having $500,000 of coverage, if you had $500,000 of coverage, the policies usually pay out about 2% per month. So that's about $10,000 per month it would pay out if any of these events were happening to you. Now that's something that you get that you're not taxed on, because it's coming from a life insurance policy and it's not coming to you in a loan, so you don't have to pay it back. It simply comes off of the death benefit, but you get to use it when you really need it, which is today, dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with.
Hmm.
So it's pretty powerful. The old insurance versus the new is definitely different. So let me kind of comparison, the differences between the quotes. So on the bottom, this is a straight term. Okay, no living benefits, just like AAA. Okay, this is term with living benefits: the chronic, the critical, and the terminal, all three. Now, some will actually say that they have living benefits, but only cover terminal. So if something happens and you get critical or chronic, you're out of luck. So definitely read the fine print, work with a human that will actually show you the benefits of each of your policy, and you decide which one is best for you.
Gotcha, Fox.
Mm.
AAA is going to beat you right here. No medical exams or health tests.
That's actually,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's actually standard wise right now, standard wide, because of the coronavirus. A lot of people actually will be able to get insurance without having a medical exam. So I know that, even them putting in writing might seem like they're doing you a favor, but that's kind of industry wide.
Okay, how about this in bold blueprint here? Let's see. Do you make this mistake too? TOO meaning as well. Two.
I got
If
it, George.
so, if so, it could place your family in financial uncertainty. How could you do that? They put in a squiggly line. That's their squiggly line. It could place your family in financial uncertainty. Do you make this mistake? Well, what's the mistake? Oh, perfect. An answer by Tristan says, here's the mistake.
Okay, good.
Their copywriting is on point. They knew what I was thinking. They think life insurance costs more than 3 times more than what it actually costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So if there's anybody out here who's like, I can't get life insurance, costs too much. Well, hey, for $50 a month, for a 40-year-old, you can get $300,000 of coverage.
Yeah. For most business owners today, the reason why most businesses fail is because of some kind of medical condition, chronic, critical, or a terminal event that's happening to that business owner that can no longer, carry over. If they actually had something that would pay them while they were still living, that definitely would be a little different. But let me show you one that actually works. Okay. So like, I love showing actually illustrations of things that actually work. So this is one from Transamerica. It's actually a good friend, so he's not going to be afraid to use his name. I did blur out his address here, but because of his term, he had a policy that was 250,000, so really close to what we were talking about, here at 300. And he did have he was diagnosed with cancer, so they actually paid him $240,000 of the death benefit to make sure they didn't take all of it. So he still had a portion left over for death once he passed away, so his family would be able to be covered. But being able to use all of that for the medical bills today allowed him and his family not to go into bankruptcy, so that he could get into a better shape and a better position.
That's a good point. If somebody does have a home, a mortgage, and the main income earner becomes ill, and God forbid passes away, this thing can cover down on that. This thing can cover that void of financial, the financial mess that will be left.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And just so you can actually see what I was talking about, here is the actual policy. So this is Jason's, his policy number and stuff, but this is the death benefit that he had, 250,000. And of course the check that was written out to him and his family. So he went through, chemotherapy, he went through radiation, and was sent this check while he was doing that. And he actually beat the cancer. Living today, great personality. He's just a great man altogether. Facing that situation, he is now a philanthropist and doing quite well. Was able to not only pay for his home or pay off his home as well as his mom's home, but invest the difference to make a difference in his family going forward.
Okay, can you explain that? It looked like it was a $250,000 policy, but
correct.
If he got paid out 240,000, how was there still 250 left in the account? How is there money still left in the account if he's already got paid out for that? Like, that to me is confusing.
Yeah, great question. So in most policies with living benefits, like I said, most will only cover one, but the benefit that they have, it pays out 90% of the policy. So if there's a terminal event, so he'll get a 90% check of the face amount, and then the remaining will end up going to his family once he passes. So that also will allow to make sure the family won't have to be burdened, upon his passing. So we'll have that money to have him have a proper burial. But
yeah, but do you have free postage?
I'll do you better. I'll save you a trip to the post office so you never have to leave your couch.
Dude, these AAA is naughty. Okay. Actually, I love them still. You know what, AAA? I ain't mad at you because you have saved my behind many times. And so for sending me this stuff, it's okay.
Mine too.
It's okay. I'm actually not even mad at you. You're such a credible company at what you do on the other side with the cars and the towing. I don't care that you try to sell me life insurance. Now that Foxx put it that way, I'm thinking more about it. Like, definitely, why is my tow truck driver selling me a policy? I'm trying to sell the policy to the tow truck driver.
Oh, George, that's awesome.
Isn't it true? Dude, true. We are Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
Affordable towing Fresno, Mario.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Foxx, this is really confusing stuff for most people and most families, but being a 40-year-old dude with some children and you having some children and us being around this stuff and us kind of knowing this business, it's like, this is pretty important, if not us, then who? Somebody has to bring this up. Somebody has to start talking about this stuff. These are not easy conversations. And oh, by the way, nobody wants to talk about this stuff. Who wants to talk about dying? Who wants to talk about preparation? Who wants to talk about getting organized? Who wants to talk about addressing issues in their life that they actually need to be addressing, but haven't faced for many years?
But how many of us know someone that's been impacted by an unexpected passing? It's like, that's just, I've seen too much.
I saw the bucket today on Shaw every week. Every week, it's like GoFundMe account. They had a little thing. They got buckets. They're trying to raise money. I'm like,
there's an easier way. Easier way. But George, you know what? I appreciate your lighthearted conversation on this topic, because you're right. It's not easy to talk about, but I think because of your platform and just your positive energy, I think it's going to be able to help people in the future for sure.
Thank you. And I want to invite you. The next video we do should be here in the studio, Epic Studios. Come on by here on Shaw. We'll do it.
Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely. You wouldn't miss it.
Thank you, Foxx. Peace. Money.